It wasn't the first time a police station in India was attacked by a mob. But what happened on February 23rd at Ajnala near Amritsar has attracted much more attention as the action was led by Amritpal Singh, who openly espouses the cause of Khalistan. The 30-year-old Amritpal openly says that he draws inspiration from Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, the militant leader who was killed in 1984.
Apart from their robes, long beards, round turbans, and armed guards, little ties Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale and Amritpal Singh together. Bhindranwale was a product of a political process, while Amritpal Singh's sudden emergence in the Sikh religious domain last year is more of a spectacle.
The Khalistan movement is a Sikh separatist movement seeking to create a homeland for Sikhs by establishing a sovereign state called Khalistan. In the 1940s, when the Lahore Resolution of Muslim League demanded Punjab be made into a Muslim state, a section of Sikh leaders led by Akalis grew concerned. They put forward the idea of Khalistan as a theocratic state covering the greater Punjab region. The fight for a separate Sikh state owes its origin to the Punjabi Suba movement. The Akali Dal, a Sikh-dominated political party, sought to create a separate Sikh Suba or province. Following the 1947 independence of India, the Punjabi Suba movement led by the Akali Dal sought the creation of province of Punjabi people. But the state's reorganization commission rejected the Akali Dal's demand, fearing that creating a Punjabi majority state would effectively mean creating another state based on religious grounds. But after a series of violent protests, the Indira Gandhi government accepted the demand and Punjab Reorganization Act was passed in 1966. The state of Punjab was trifurcated into Punjabi majority Punjab, Hindi majority Haryana and the Union Territory of Chandigarh. Chandigarh was made a centrally administered union territory. Some hilly regions of the state were merged into Himachal Pradesh. However, sharing of capital of Chandigarh and sharing of surplus waters of Ravi and Beas rivers created resentment among Sikhs in Punjab. The 1972 election proved to be the blip in Akali's political growth. The Congress swept to power, prompting the Shiromani Akali Dal to introspect. To regain public appeal, the party put forward the Anandpur Sahib resolution in 1973. The resolution document included both religious and political demands like creation of an autonomous region for Sikhs, recognition of Sikhism as a religion separate from Hinduism, transfer of Chandigarh and certain other areas to Punjab, radical devolution of powers from central to the state governments. The document gained attention in 1980s when it found an admirer in Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, a religious scholar. Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale was a prominent Sikh leader who emerged as a prominent figure in the late 1970s and early 1980s in Punjab. He advocated for the rights of Sikh community and was known for his fiery speeches against the perceived injustice faced by Sikhs in Punjab. However, Bhindranwale's emergence on the political landscape of Punjab can be traced back to 1977 when the Akali Dal Janata Party government came to power after defeating the Congress in the assembly elections. Jarnail Singh, the defeated chief minister who later became president of India, was most unhappy. Not only because he had lost power, but also because the Gurdiyal Singh Commission appointed to look into his conduct as chief minister had found him guilty of misuse of power. It was Sanjay Gandhi, known for his extra-constitutional methods, who suggested that some sons should be put up to the challenge the Akali government. Both Sanjay and Jarnail Singh knew how the former Punjab Chief Minister Pratap Singh had fought the Akalis. He had built up Sant Fateh Singh against Master Tara Singh, the Akali leader who had become a hard nut to crack.
The first one we interviewed did not look a courageous type. Bhindranwale, strong in tone and tenor, seemed to fit the bill. We would give him money off and on, but we never thought he would turn into a terrorist.
Little did they realize that time that they were creating a Frankenstein, quoted Kuldeep Nayyar in his book. Bhindranwale got his first opportunity to get into limelight on April 13, 1978, the day of Baisakhi, when a band of Sikhs clashed with Nirankaris who called themselves Sikhs but were not considered to be so by the community. They were like the Ahmadis who are not considered to be Muslims although they follow the tenets of Islam. 16 Sikhs died in the clash on that Baisakhi day. Politically, Bhindranwale acquired a reputation as someone who is uncompromising in asserting and defending Sikh interests. His critics, however, accused him of brinkmanship and taking extreme positions and alleged that he struck secret deals with the ruling Congress. The Sikh Nirankari clash of 1978, however, strengthened the perception that Bhindranwale was the only one committed to fighting for the Sikhs. The Akali Dal was seen as having compromised in that case. Bhindranwale even took up the cause of Anandpur Sahib resolution, which had been the plank of the Akalis. The passivity of Akali Dal and its subservience to the interest of rich farmers drove many young Sikhs towards Bhindranwale. Increase in education levels not being accompanied by employment opportunities also created a cadre of unemployed youth who became impressed by Bhindranwale. For many of them, Bhindranwale offered a life of pride and pity, saving them from hopelessness and vices like alcohol and pornography. He highlighted the difference in how Sikh and Hindus accused of same crime were treated and argued that the Indian state was, in a sense, a Hindu state. However, it is important to note that Bhindranwale never openly called for a separate state or Khalistan. He often quoted, Sikh ek vakri kaum hai.
स्वरूप करके सिख वक्री कौम है, धार्मिक ग्रंथ करके इष्ट करके सिख वक्री कौम है.
Bhindranwale hoped to restore the Sikh community to its tradition. He argued against Akali Dal's policy of negotiating their demands peacefully with the central government in New Delhi and insisted that the political power in Punjab was a Sikh right, not a gift of Delhi regime. Bhindranwale succeeded in convincing a large number of rural Sikhs that the policies of Akali Dal were humiliating for them. The Akali Dal leadership had initially opposed Bhindranwale. While Bhindranwale ceded leadership to the Akali Dal and disavowed the political ambition, in 1980s, the Akali Dal faced a serious challenge from Bhindranwale. As Bhindranwale became increasingly influential, the party decided to join forces with him. In August 1982, under the leadership of Jarnail Singh, the Akali Dal launched the Dharm Morcha in collaboration with Bhindranwale to win autonomy for Punjab and for the implementation of Anandpur Sahib resolution. Indira Gandhi, who was against Dharm Morcha, openly said that the Anandpur Sahib resolution is against India and she will not allow the Morcha to continue. She aggressively opposed the said Morcha and more than 30,000 Sikhs were arrested as a consequence. However, to protect himself from the consequences of the acts of terror which his supporters were committing in Punjab, Bhindranwale sought refuge inside the Harmindar Sahib complex. He continued to give instructions to his supporters from inside the complex. The Indian government made several attempts so that Bhindranwale comes out of his hideout, but they failed miserably.
To neutralize Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale and his band of armed supporters who were lodged at Harmindar Sahib Temple complex, Operation Blue Star was carried out in June 1984. In the wake of the operation, there was total media blackout and curfew was also imposed by the government. Operation Blue Star had two subcomponents: Operation Metal to flush out militants holed up in the Golden Temple, and Operation Shop to mop up remaining extremists throughout Punjab. Operation Woodrose was also launched throughout Punjab to quell militancy. The storming of Temple occurred on 5th June 1984 under the command of Lieutenant General Kuldeep Singh Brar. According to Brar, the army warned the militants inside the temple to surrender, but their warnings were not heeded. However, there are other claims from the opposite side as well. They say the first firing was done on 1st June itself from the authorities. By June 7, the army had full control over Harmindar Sahib complex. Bhindranwale was killed in the operation along with many of his leading men. The official death toll by the army is 554 Sikh militants and civilians and 83 officers and soldiers of the military. There was a lot of anguish among Sikh community in India and abroad over the storming of their most holy place. The timing of the operation was also questioned since June 3, 1984 was the martyrdom day of Sikh Guru Arjan Singh. As an act of revenge, Indira Gandhi was assassinated in October 1984 by her own Sikh bodyguards, triggering the 1984 anti-Sikh riots in Delhi and other parts of North India.
In 1986, the Chief of Army Staff at the time of operation, Jarnail A.S. Vaidya, was assassinated by Harmindar Singh Jinda and Sukhdev Singh Sukha in revenge by Sikh military. Bombing of Air India Flight 182 in 1985 is believed to be have another act of revenge for the operation. Many Sikh soldiers in Indian Army mutinied because of the operation. A series of bomb blasts had taken place on May 10, 1985. These were bombs fitted in transistor and they went off in buses and other places. The explosions had killed 49 people and injured another 127 people in Delhi alone. Several other explosions took place in Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. The explosions were said to be in protest against the Operation Blue Star of 1984. In March 1986, Sikh militants again occupied and continued to use the temple compound, which necessitated another police action known as Operation Black Thunder on 30th April 1986. The operation was commanded by KPS Gill, DGB of Punjab, and was conducted by a National Security Guard to flush out extremists and terrorists from Golden Temple complex. Due to precision and speed during conduct of the operation, it was codenamed as Operation Black Thunder. The operation commenced on the night of 30th April 1986 and lasted till early morning of 1st May 1986. No collateral damage was caused during the operation. The troops apprehended 122 suspected personnel with no casualty to own troops. The operation was approved by then Chief Minister of Punjab, Surjit Singh Barnala of Shiromani Akali Dal. The operation had full support by moderate Sikh leaders, and several leaders praised the police action for flushing out terrorist, separatist, and anti-faith elements. Second part of the operation was codenamed as Operation Black Thunder 2 and was conducted from 10th May to 19th May 1988 with similar aim of Operation Black Thunder 1. National Security Guard was deployed in early morning of 11th May 1988. The snipers successfully neutralized terrorists at vantage points. An intermediate ceasefire was announced on 13th May to allow terrorists to surrender. Operation was recommenced on 14th May, which lasted till 19th May 1988. In the entire operation, due to steadfast and committed efforts of National Security Guard, 146 extremists had surrendered. This operation was also commanded by KPS Gill, who was DGB of Punjab Police at that time. Compared to Operation Blue Star, little damage was inflicted on Golden Temple in Operation Black Thunder. In what was reported as a successful operation, around 200 militants surrendered, 41 were killed. KPS Gill stated that we did not want to repeat the mistakes made by the Indian Army during Operation Blue Star. The operation was described as a severe setback to Amritpal Sahib Resolution implementation movement. In contrast to prior operations, minimum force was used under full public scrutiny. It is remembered for the free access the news media was provided, unlike during Operation Blue Star. Day after the militant surrender, 9 reporters were allowed into the temple complex. Kirtan was resumed at Golden Temple on 23rd May 1988 after a 2-week break during the operation. Further, continuing the Khalistani movement, Beyan Singh was assassinated in a bomb blast at the Secretarial Complex in Chandigarh on 31st August 1995. The blast claimed the lives of 17 others, including 3 Indian commandos. Dilwar Singh Babbar and Babbar Khalsa International acted as suicide bombers. Later, the backup bomber Balwant Singh was also convicted of the killing. According to the Department of State, the Khalistani Commando Force was also involved in the assassination. Instead of ending Khalistani terrorism in Punjab, the operation is said to have increased militancy in the state. It was only in the 90s that the insurgency in Punjab is said to have fizzled out. Khushwant Singh also stated,
As far as the competence of the army, the less said the better. In an age where a handful of Israeli or German commandos could, through a well-planned action, overcome a well-entrenched enemy thousands of miles away from them, the best our generals could do was to storm the temple complex with tanks and armored cars, blast the Akal Takht to get at Bhindranwale and 200 of his men. In crossfire, upwards of 5,000 people, a majority of them pilgrims, including women and children, lost their lives. Far from doing a competent job, our army commanders botched up a simple operation.
The bloodshed that Punjab had seen in the name of Khalistan 30 to 35 years ago has not ended yet. However, the state is largely peaceful. The demand for Khalistan was raised time and again, but after the Ajnala incident, it caught fire. Khalistani separatist Amritpal Singh surrendered and was arrested by Punjab police on Sunday morning. This brought to close a 37-day manhunt that often saw dramatic car chases and switching of vehicles. Amritpal Singh's road to jail was via Rode village. He addressed a gathering at a Gurdwara in Rode, the native village of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. Amritpal has been trying to rebrand himself as Bhindranwale 2.0, but he is anything but the polarizing figure who was killed in Operation Blue Star. What is most interesting is how Amritpal Singh got para-dropped onto the scenes after the death of Deep Sidhu and tried to rebrand himself as Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. Much of the mainstream media may have felt Amritpal Singh's presence on February 23rd when he, along with thousands of Sikhs, stormed the police station to free one of his comrades, Lovepreet Tufan, from Ajnana jail. However, he arrived in politics of Punjab much earlier than that. The influx could be seen even before he came to India from Dubai on August 19, 2022. Amritpal Singh, who used to run his family transport business in Dubai, was born in 1993 in Jallupur Kheda village in Amritsar. In 2012, he went to Dubai after completing 12th. Then came the turning point in Amritpal Singh's life. Deep Sidhu, who gained prominence during the farmers' agitation, was killed in a road accident in February 22. Amritpal returned to India in August last year and took over the reins of Deep Sidhu's outfit, Waris Punjab. By then, Amritpal had undergone a sea change. From being a Mona, a Sikh who trims his hair and beard, he took part in Sikh ceremony called Amrit Chakna that avows a life of prayer and strict discipline. From Western outfits, he took to sporting long banna shirt and Dumala turban. In fact, his turban tying ceremony, that is Dastarbandi, was also held at Rode village, which was Bhindranwale's ancestral village. It was evident that Amritpal was trying to be Bhindranwale 2.0 by the way he styled his turban and the way he moved around the heavily armed Nihang Sikhs. And then the Rode connection was unmissable. It is also believed that Amritpal Singh underwent eye surgery in Georgia to resemble Bhindranwale before returning to India in 2022. Amritpal Singh is a propagator of Khalistan just like his idol Bhindranwale. But the similarity ends there. Bhindranwale, born in 1947, was a Taksali Sikh. His emergence was part of a political process, but Amritpal Singh was para-dropped into the vacuum created by moderate outfits like Shiromani Akali Dal. Bhindranwale's father gave him to Sikh seminary Damdami Taksal when he was just 7. He learned passages from Guru Granth Sahib by rote and grew up to be a dominant figure in Damdami Taksal. He was elected the head of the seminary in 1971. Uncut hair and beards are hallmarks of practicing Sikh. The initiated among them were all the 5 mandatory Ks, being
Kes, Kanga, Kada, Kirpan, and Kachera.
Unlike Bhindranwale, who was stubbornly obsessed with the emblems of the Sikh faith since his childhood, Amritpal Singh had a fancy haircut before he appeared abruptly on the Sikh religious turf after spending years in Dubai. After the rout in the election after the emergency, Indira Gandhi's son Sanjay Gandhi wanted to break up the Shiromani Akali Dal, which was holding protests from 1975 to 1977. Sanjay Gandhi handpicked Bhindranwale to demolish the Akali leadership. Bhindranwale was popular in Punjab, whereas Amritpal Singh has no mass following. Neither any political party has owned up Amritpal Singh. Not just Congress, the BJP and AAP, even the present Akali chief Sukhbir Singh Badal was unforgiving when the young Khalistani ideologue and his men charged the Ajnala police station in Punjab carrying Sri Guru Granth Sahib in bus during the violent demonstration. Police began a crackdown on Amritpal on March 18 over the attack on Ajnala police station. The clampdown saw Khalistani fringe elements in the UK, US, Canada and Australia took to streets to protest against the police action in India. There was a violent protest at the Indian High Commission in London, but in India, Amritpal's appeal never gained much support. While on run, Amritpal Singh issued a video message and called for Sarbat Khalsa on Baisakhi.
ਜਥੇਦਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਿ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦੇ 14ਵਾਂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦੇ ਮੇਲੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਸੱਦਿਆ ਜਾਏ। ਮੈਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਪੀਲ ਕਰਦਾ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਬੈਠੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੱਧ ਚੜ ਕੇ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਤੋਂ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਪਾਉਣ ਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੌਮ ਦੇ ਮਸਲਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ।
Sarbat Khalsa call found no support from Akal Takht, Delhi Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee, Dal Khalsa and many other outfits. As a result, no Sarbat Khalsa took place on the day of the Vaisakhi. On Sunday, Amritpal addressed a gathering at Rode Gurdwara before surrendering. Jasbir Singh Rode, nephew of Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale, helped in surrender of Amritpal Singh. Even in death, Bhindranwale has attained an iconic status and remains a polarizing figure. Bhindranwale's rise to popularity coincided and fueled the insurgency in Punjab. There is a lot of difference between Punjab of 1980s and the Punjab of 2023. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, when asked about fugitive Amritpal Singh and Khalistani wave in Punjab, said, "There is no Khalistani wave in Punjab. The government is doing its job. We are monitoring the situation very closely. No one can attack India's unity and sovereignty." Though Amritpal is no Bhindranwale, his story could just be the beginning. And considering border state Punjab's history, no threat is small enough to be taken lightly.